All right, guys, welcome to the Hungry for More call. My name is Julius Gilger. I'm excited to have on Jesse Hantla. I'm hoping I'm saying your name right. If I butchered it, I apologize, brother. But I'm excited to have him on. He's got an incredible story. And this guy recently did over 100K of business in 1 month, and he's been with us for less than 1 year. How's it going, my man?
Dude, fantastic. I'm actually here in Arizona with you guys. I was lucky enough to meet you guys all face to face here the other day. So thank you so much for having me on here. I really appreciate the time, being able to speak to others on the team and, share some insight.
Yeah, you got it. You got it. First off, I got to say, meeting you, man, your energy is very infectious. You got this energy about you that you're just excited. You're, excited about life, excited about business, and just, ready to rock. So I'm sure your business partners feel that, and so do your clients. So, but
Yeah.
tell us a little bit about you, man. Tell us what's your story. I know you shared that recently with myself and a few others, but I think it's powerful with kind of what you went through and kind of giving some context about that, and then we'll get into the business.
Yeah, absolutely. So again, my name is Jesse Hantla. I'm based out of Las Vegas. Team name is FFL Primetime. Working with Josh Alondra, Jose and Piedad with Valientes. So started FFL back in December of 2020. And pretty much immediately, I was getting my butt kicked pretty bad. But I was able to have a couple of decent sales to kind of pull me out of the funk, because the funk that I was currently living in was I was donating plasma. I was on unemployment and literally had no money to my bank account. My first day in the field, I was negative in the hole. I was like, well, I believe in myself and I believe in this business, and I've got the appointments there. Let's go for it. Let's see what happens. And I had been in the industry probably about 2.5 years prior, and I had the ability to learn a decent amount. But since I was off all during 2020, all I did was play Call of Duty, donate plasma, chilling on unemployment, So I definitely was very, very, very rusty when it came to this industry. The phone scripts were terrible. My in-home was terrible. So all I did for days in and days out was just listening to podcasts out and out. So.
Okay. So you were a student of the game.
Yeah.
So you came from another company. You said you've been in the industry for about 2.5 years. Talk to us a little bit about the difference of what your prior experience was. Don't name any company names, nothing like that, but talk to us about what that looked like versus what it looked like here. And what were some of the learning lessons you learned maybe in the first 30, 60, 90 days that helped you find success?
So big success, I guess let's rewind. So the first company I was at, the background too, I was a master technician with BMW and Tesla. So I had no idea what insurance was. Half the stuff they were talking about, it was giving me anxiety talking about, spreads and prices and this and that and how everything works. And I had no idea what was going on. Just absolutely no idea what was going on. But it was a recruit to sell type motto. So I ended up becoming the number one recruiter first 10 days in the business, followed up next 2 to 3 months, back to back to back. I was within the top 3. And all I did was just go out there and recruit. I'm pretty good when it comes to people, but I just found that motto didn't really work for me too well. I started at 30% comp, worked my way up to a 75%. They said, once you get here, you're going to make a bunch of money. You're going to be rich. You're going to have equity. You're going to do this. And so I just kept drinking the Kool-Aid over and over and over, thinking I'm going to have that breakthrough. One day it's going to be mine. I'm going to get there. While, I was just watching my upline take my team, take my agency, take everything that I built, and I was left with nothing. After 2 years of grinding super hard, I was left with an entire team that was no longer direct to me. And after that, it really put a bad taste in my mouth. I found FFL. I thought it was way too good to be true. I was at a 75%. They were offering me over 100% confidence, just thinking there's no way possible that this could actually be. So I didn't take the leap. I was thinking at the time, because I didn't really have that much money, I ended up being forced to drive Uber in order to have some money. Jumped into an independent agency. They paid me like 80, 85 and worked my way up to a 90, but they took 30% of your closing sale. So every time I would close an app, I would put the house on for 30% so they could provide me free leads. the free leads that I was working were my uplines, old leads from the year, 2 years before. So I was working like 3 to 5 year old leads. I still had success, but it was just because I was working like nonstop. The transition here into FFL has just been an absolute game changer. Let alone the compensation's ridiculous. Where in the industry can you go and get paid 100% of your efforts? Nowhere.
Yeah.
Nowhere.
So it's funny, man. We have a very similar background, actually. I didn't know this. So I started out at another company, same deal, 30%. They're selling me the dream. I got to the highest comp at the time, which was 80%, thinking, all right, here we go. Here comes the money, right? And then 80%. And, the thing that I didn't realize is 80% of zero or not enough sales, let's call it that, because I did sell some, is still not a lot of money, right? And I'm like, damn, this sucks. And so it's funny that we have a very similar path. And I, kind of fast forward to now, I was actually able to bring on the team that actually hired me on at that other company. And so they're kind of just now starting to see it. So they're just like, oh my God, I think you actually got a chance to meet him when you were here on Monday.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So talk to us. So you got your first set of leads, you were donating plasma. Like I can't even fathom that, dude. Like that is just a whole like another level, bro. So what did that look like? How much did you actually invest in the leads? How many leads did you get? How much did you sell? Like, for the new agents on here that are learning this business, that are learning this system, kind of break that down a little bit, right? Like I had X amount of leads, I spent this amount of money, I made this much back. Like just help them understand that, please.
Okay. So my first week, I had about $300, maybe $400 to my name. So I took about 95% of that and I bought leads. Most of them, I think I bought because in Las Vegas, there was literally no leads. I had maybe, 8, 10 instance, maybe 5 to 15 new internet life leads. At the time, I was thinking, how can I get the most amount of volume? So I bought a bunch of 1 month leads. I would say probably 80% of them were 1 month old leads. And then the rest were, I had like 3 to 5 instants, closed 1 instant, closed like 2 or 3 1 month leads. And I was able to turn that $400 around into about $4,000. And then I went and reinvested about $1,500 of that into some more leads, turned that into around about $7,000. Next run, and this was in the course of about 10 days, because it was, I think, December 19th, December 20th. And by the end of the year, I had deposited close to 20 grand in my bank account. And I didn't have a lot of appointments because it was Christmas time. People were giving me the, oh, it's a holiday. Oh, I'm out of town. Oh, I'm this. Oh, I'm that. I'm like, well, look, before you go out of town, I'd recommend getting this set up. We've got COVID, you've got travel, you've got all of this. Anything can happen. You never know what tomorrow's going to bring. And I was just pushing resistance because I was thinking in my head, like, one thing I feel that would really help a lot of people, it's just talking a little bit about mindset here. Because we could beat this into the ground all day talking about buying leads, booking your appointments and doing this. But the biggest game changer for me is going to be how you perceive your day, how you perceive the leads, how you perceive everything that you're speaking over, everything that you're doing in life. Like, for instance, like, oh, I'm getting my butt kicked on the phone. Okay. Yeah, it does happen. Just keep going. Right. I can't do this. How about I need to figure out how to learn this? Instead of saying you can't do something, ask yourself how you can figure it out. Don't put ill words over your life, like, oh, I'm terrible. I can't do this. Oh, I'm fat. Oh, I'm stupid. Oh, I'm that. And because the thing is if you're speaking these ill things over yourself, you're setting yourself up for failure. So one of the things that I was doing right in the beginning, and I always do this every day before I get on the phone, every day before I get into a house, every day before I get in my car, I always tell myself, everyone's going to be home. Everybody can't wait to pick up my call. Everybody's looking forward to hearing from me. Everybody's looking to buy insurance from me. I can't wait to help these people. I'm the best person that's going to help them. And I'm speaking what's happening into reality. Everybody's going to be home. And you know what? If they do show, great. If they don't show, great. But as long as I got my 10, 12 appointments, 3 to 5 of them could go ahead and no show me. It's not a problem. Now I've got 50% activity that I might be able to get into there to where now because I've been speaking positive, I'm now thinking positive. So if I'm thinking positive, I'm talking positive, I'm feeling positive, But if I think negatively, I'm going to speak negatively, then I'm going to feel like it. And I feel this is one of the biggest game changers I felt that's helped me propel myself through tough times. Like, I'm sure many of you that have been here for a minute or that are beginning to do some travel trips, it can get kind of lonely sometimes. It can get a little frustrating sometimes. When you do have a bad day, you go back to your hotel and you're the only one there. You're just like, oh my God, what do I do? And then in your head, you're freaking out. You're like, I got this. It's not a big deal. Today was a day. Tomorrow's a new one. Let's go ahead and kill it. And, I really want to just open up and talk about a little bit more when it does come down to the mindset, because we're capable of doing anything, but we have to put the effort. The leads aren't going to dial themselves. The appointments aren't going to book themselves. The houses aren't going to be protected without you being there. If you're buying the lead, just think, I have to get in there. If you're buying the lead, think, I have to call them. If you're buying the lead, I'm going to book them.
Let's sit on that for a second, because I think that's really important, right? Especially like you and I came from a place where we didn't have leads. We had to recruit to create a lead, right? Or create interest by selling to friends and family of the people we recruited, right? So talk to us about your mindset about a lead, whether it's a new lead, a 1 month lead, a 3 month lead. Like, what does that look like for you? Because I mean, I know what I think, but I want people to hear what you're doing and how that processes in your mind and how that shows in your business.
Yeah. So when it comes down to any type of lead, I look at leads like leads. I don't look at them like sales. Because if we're looking at every lead like, oh, okay, I bought 100 leads, I'm going to close 100% of them. That's unreal expectation. That's never going to happen. And think about it, just to put yourself into the same position. Like, think if we're going to go buy a car, we're going to go jump online and we're going to try to find the best deal. We might put our email in 15 different places. Clients might be doing the same thing because they're looking to find the best price. So I just look at it like, hey, I'm here to help. It's not a big deal. Whatever we choose to do with the information is totally up to you. And I honestly love working anything that's new. I love working anything that's in the CRM. I would say 99.9% of the leads, actually about 100% of the leads that I've actually ran since I've been here with FFL have only been CRM. I just recently got my first batch of FEX leads. So for me personally, leads are leads. We just have to pick up the phone and work them. And it's all about your mindset, your attitude, and your activity to getting into these appointments, to booking your appointments. And because like you said, Julius, like, we came from the recruit to sell type motto, like, hey, get your top 25 ready. Let's go talk and do your training calls. But then at the end of the day, I couldn't, like, honestly, I couldn't look myself in the mirror anymore, thinking I'm recruiting people, taking money out of their pocket so I can train them. For me, it just felt like I wasn't doing my self-service. I wasn't doing the agents a service. And in the end, it only ends up hurting you in the long run, because when they quit, policies back charge, everything falls off. But here, we buy leads, we sit down at the house, we close them, we help them. And as long as we're doing the effective things right, not overselling. And, even in the beginning, when I first got here, I was doing a little bit of that because I really didn't know. I had some back charges, but you just got to keep pushing through it. So.
Yeah, it's crazy that you said that, because that really resonates with me, man. Like, I remember hiring people to my first company and almost knowing like 99% of them are going to fail. Like, it wasn't the business model that they can win at, because it was even hard for me to win at, and not saying that I'm great by any means, but I just knew what it took, and it was very difficult.
Oh, 100%.
So here, anyone can win because it is scalable, it's sustainable. We have leads for everybody. So talk to us a little bit now, like, you mentioned leads in your area were not as abundant, right? There wasn't as many leads. So, and you're here in Phoenix, obviously, for a reason. So, what does that look like for you? Are you doing some travel trips? How often are you traveling? Like, why are you choosing to travel versus doing anything else? Because I think it's important for folks to understand, like, this business, there is no limit on it. The only limit is in your mind of what you can and can't do. So share with the team, because what you're doing, and then you recently hit an all-time high for yourself. So share a little bit about that and what you did there, because I think it's important for folks to realize like anyone can do that too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So the reason why I choose to travel, I think it's a lot has to do with just the challenge. Big thing for me personally is I want to be able to guide my team. And if there isn't leads, we find a solution. Don't look at the problem. Because we could look at, oh, I don't have leads as a big issue. Or we can look at it as this is a good opportunity for me to grow and get out of my comfort zone. And that for me was just pushing myself, out of my comfort zone. And, for instance, like Erica, I'd always see her getting into, doing travel trips when I first got here. And I was like, this chick is crazy. I love it. And then I see a lot of other people that are having success from travel trips. And then I started to just develop, and I went, Josh and Alondra went to Hawaii, made a bunch of money. Nina went and did all these trips, made a bunch of money. Why can't I do it? If I don't have leads, I got to get out of here, because it's either I'm going to eat or I'm going to start staying here in my problems. And, when it does come down to traveling, since July, I think I've been home for maybe a week, and it's now October. So maybe about a week, 2 weeks, I've actually been home since July.
Wow.
And, pretty much since the 4th of July, I think I was home maybe like 1 or 2 days, pretty much like every other week, Southern California, Northern California, back home. And I went to Dallas, then I went to New Jersey for 2 weeks. Then I went back to Dallas for another week. Then I was home in Vegas for about 2 weeks. I've been here. It'll be a week that I'll be here in Phoenix. And, it's just a luck of the draw when I'm buying leads, and because the activity is there.
So how much did you deposit during that time? Because let's face it, man, that's like road warrior status, right? And most people are not going to do that, and that's okay. Yeah. But for the people that are, like, what did that look like for you in terms of income?
Yeah. So July, I had my biggest month in my career, which is actually very mind-boggling, because while I was at my first agency, I finished in the top 25 of producers. 122,000 submit at that company, and it was a top 25 producer. I'm not even talking about issue pay. I'm talking about submit business.
You're talking over the course of a year.
A course of a year, 1 year, and I was in the top 25.
Okay.
In July, I issue paid 129,000. So
paid. So over there, you submitted 122 in a year. Here, you issue paid 129 in a month. So guys, if you don't know the difference between submit and issue, just a real quick thing. Submit is when you just submit an application. Doesn't mean they're approved. Doesn't mean the client paid their premiums. Issue paid means you've submitted the application, client's been approved by the carrier, and they paid their first month's premium. So the business is actually good and protections in place. That's huge, dude. That's like, it's a whole nother level.
So the income was absolutely ridiculous, but it's like you said, most people aren't going to be willing to do something like that. And it's totally understandable. This may not be for everybody, but then again, making 100 grand in a month may not be what everybody's willing to go do. I personally look at it like this. If, guys in the company could make 100 grand, why can't I? And that's just the way I always look at it. And then I thought about it. I'm like, I'm working so hard, and it's not about me anymore. And now it's time for me to give it back to my agency. Now it's time to give it back to my church. Now it's time to go ahead and bless others with the money that I can provide and make, because it's not my money to begin with, right? Yeah. That's the way I always look at everything that I do with it. It's not about me. It's about, inspiring, helping others. It's about providing to our community. If I can pay my bills, cool. If not, whatever's. Like, I've been blessed here to be able to have the mindset to just keep pushing.
So and Jesse, real quick. So let's talk about, so first off, that's amazing, because you're all about giving back, right? Like, it's not about you. You know that you have a bigger purpose, your team, your community, your people, right? Like, it's not just you and I winning, but it's, being a leader means helping others win, right? Not just you and I can eat, we can feed ourselves, we can make it work. We figured it out, but it's how do we help, the people that are around us win on our level, right? Or on the level that they want to win, right? So I think one of the things that new agents have a tendency of struggling with, and maybe you can help educate us on this, is like, I think dial days in the beginning, your first month or two, is probably one of the hardest transitions people need to make. Would you agree?
Oh man, I wish I could have recorded my first 90 days on the phones, because you would be like, this guy is a lunatic. He is so passionately angry, upset. Like, I would take things so personal when I first got here. I mean, like I'm not even kidding you. Like, someone, I'm not interested. F off, or something like that. I would just be like, ah! Throw my phone across the room, and I'd be like, what's wrong with this guy? You requested the information, blah, 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 right? I'd get so upset. And eventually, now I'm just to the point, like, they cuss me out. I'm like, all right, cool. Have a good day. God bless you. All right. Click. All right. Next. And I'm just looking for a bunch of people to tell me no. And hopefully I find 15 people to say yes out of 100. That's literally what I look at.
Talk to us about like the 2, 3, 4 things that are key to having a successful dial day. Maybe the amount of leads you typically have. Like, you're in Arizona, obviously you got a bunch of leads, right? How many leads are you looking to have on a dial day? What does your dialing like mechanics look like? Maybe the speed of it, how you operate in a dial day, because especially like if you're new and you're not used to making 200-300 dials in a day, like you got to work up to that, right? Your mindset about getting hung up on or whatever, right? So just talk to us about those few things that will help a new agent or someone that's maybe been here for a week or two really turn up their dial day and make sure they have the activity, because we all know at the end of the day, without the appointments, you're not going to write the business.
Right. For me personally, I always advise have minimum of 80, if not 120, 150 leads per dial day. I personally am using a power dialer, so I am able to increase my efficiency much higher. But in the beginning, I didn't have money. So it was either leads, pay my bills, or leads. Like, that was my option. So the only thing that I could do was manual dial. So that meant I had to wake up at 7:30 in the morning. That meant I had to dial until I had my appointment. Some days I wasn't done till 9:15. And I was getting screamed at. Why are you calling me so late? Because you requested the information. That's why, and when I always recommend to my brand new agents, anytime that you are manually dialing, let's say you've got 100 leads. I dial 1 through 25 one time through. Then I dial 1 through 25 3 times through. Go to 26 through 50 one time through. Then I triple dial them. Then I go 51 through 75 one time through, triple dial them. 75 or 76 through 100 one time through, triple dial them. And then by then it's probably lunchtime. So then you're going to recycle the 1 through 25, do it again. Then 26 through 50, 75 to, so on, so on. Then at nighttime, I'm going to single dial everyone through on a block number. And then I'm going to triple dial them on a block number 2. And by this time, they're going to be picking up their phone because they've had this phone number call them multiple times in a day. Now they're having a block number call them multiple times in a day. Now, the one thing I did learn the hard way was after about 275 phone calls, your phone number can start to come up as spam likely. So you want to be very cautious on doing this with your personal line because you don't want to be calling clients where you're getting that. So utilize Google services, utilize a phone app called, I think, Burner. I want to say it's $9 or $10 a month. I didn't even know that existed when I got here. I found this out like maybe 6 weeks ago. So I really wish I had that. My agents are having really good success with that, being able to, rotate numbers, being able to have that flexibility so they're not flagging their own number as well.
Yeah. Phone burner is key, guys. Phone burners and auto dialer. We can get you that information if you guys need it. It's all on our website and all that stuff. So awesome, Jesse. So how many appointments on average would you say you're running a week?
The goal is always 30 to about 45. I want to always have more than enough appointments, and I would rather be the one that has to reschedule on people opposed to me canceling on them.
Got it.
Opposed to them canceling on me. I'd rather be so booked where I either have to give appointments away to people or I have to just reschedule on them. They don't have an opportunity to no-show me because I'm basically no-showing them. But some weeks, 20 to 25. But I noticed whenever I have those weeks of 15 to 25 appointments, my premium's half. Yeah. So always push yourself to the highest maximum you can do, because there is going to be chargebacks. There is going to be no-shows. There are going to be reschedules. So the only way to get ahead of the curve is by overbooking. Trying to think of anything else that I could leave you guys with before we go.
One or two last things that, if someone's been here, either they're new, they've been here for 90 days, they're having trouble kind of turning the corner. What would you say to that agent, right? The agent, maybe they have no experience, maybe, they've been here for a few weeks and they haven't set very many appointments. They've only had a few sales. Maybe they haven't bought leads before. Just like, let's talk to those people, because there's a bunch of those folks watching now and will be on the replay. So what would you leave if these were your new agents that are in that situation? What would you leave them with?
One of the biggest things I would always recommend doing is make sure you're tapped into as much podcast as possible. Overtrain as much as you can. One of the things that I love to do when I first got here, I made 3 different groups of different types of videos on my YouTube, and I would have 3 different playlists. So one was for in-home presentations, one was for phone scripts, and one was just from people's success that is just absolutely killing it. And the in-home presentations, I would listen to the night before I'm going to go run, and I would play it on repeat while I'm sleeping. I would play it on repeat while I'm driving, while I'm at the gym, while I'm waking up, while I'm getting ready. The nights before I'm going to dial, I listen to phone scripts, objections while I'm sleeping. So I'm subconsciously downloading this information. And I remember, because my mom lives with me, and I've been taking care of my mom for years, but I remember one day she walked in and she's like, "What are you listening to?" I'm like, "Podcast. I'm downloading information. I'm going to be the #1 producer of this company, Mom. Just watch." And literally, I was saying this to myself in December when I had no money in my bank account. And that actually came a reality in July, where I was the #1 in all of FFL, I think West Coast. So Paul McLean, Andrew Taylor, everybody basically. And it was mind blowing to me, because anything is possible here, guys. Allow someone else's belief about you to become yours. Because when belief is low, listen to your upline. If they're saying, "Hey, I believe in you," it's because they genuinely want to see you succeed. Allow sometimes the fire of others to light yours. If people are giving you help, take their hand. If people are recommending that they can do something for you, take their hand. Because if they're offering and you don't take it, you're going to regret it later. There's been times that I thought my pride, I let my pride or my ego get in the way. And egos cost money. They smell really bad, and nobody wants to be around you when you got one. And for me, it was just grounding myself and allowing others to help if they're offering. But don't go and just be like, "Hey, I need help, and be a crybaby about it. But literally, just if someone's going out of their way to help you, just, "Hey, what can I do to work with you and make this happen? I'm really excited to do this." So
yeah, no, that's strong, man. And I'm sure you've heard this. Sean Mike says this, and it's really resonated with me throughout my journey here. Is you could either have a big ego or you can have a big business. You can't have both, right? And so I will choose a big business over a big ego any day of the week. And it requires us to humble ourselves to be open for coaching, be open for help. And if you're new on here, maybe you've been here for a little while, and you just haven't had the success you're looking for, guys. I think what Jesse's really trying to say, and what I'm trying to say, is reach out, reach up. We're here to help you. We've been in your shoes, and we don't know what you're going through. We don't know the struggle or the challenge you're faced with. We do reach out, but at the same time, just you reaching up and asking for some help will go a long way. And everyone wants to help, right? Everyone wants 100%. To help. So that's really what it is. So, hey, Jesse, man.
I always recommend, though, if you do reach up and out, make sure you're structured in what you're reaching out about. Not just, "Hey, man, like, don't be a jerk about it," but like, "Hey, I'm really inspired by what you're doing. I took something from you and it really resonated with me. I was hoping I could get 5 minutes of your time in regards towards in-home and towards this." So that way, because guys, like, everybody's time is valuable, even yours that are learning. and never have too much of an ego to ask questions. Like even right now, guys, I'm constantly picking people's brains. I'm like, how do you recruit? How do you do this? How do you do that? And this is coming from someone who was the #1 recruiter in the past company. I'm like, how are you building? How are you doing this? How are you doing that? What are your systems look like? I was asking Julius, I was asking Eric, I was asking everybody, I was asking Grady, because they're in a position that I want to become. And everybody can get there. So I just want to leave you guys with this. Don't ever stop believing in yourself. Your past circumstances aren't your current situation, and your past circumstances isn't your value of who you are today. You can overcome any challenge, but it starts here with what you're thinking and what you're speaking over your life.
That's awesome, man. Hey, Jesse, thank you so much, man, for pouring into us. Thank you for sharing everything you've shared. It's a pleasure to be in business with your brother. If there's anything you need, any way I can pour back into you or your team, you know the number, man.
I'll definitely do it. And then if you guys want to follow the journey, get connected with me on IG. It's STAYPRIME time. So stay prime time. So see you guys soon. God bless you. Thank you so much for your time.
You got it, man. Hey, crush your dial day. See you guys on the leaderboard. Peace.